everybody, it's me, Jennifer Stenhouse from Little Metal Foxes, and today I wanted to share some tips about punches, center punches, and beyond. And Julia will be joining me here in just a moment, so I'm going to give her a chance to jump on. But there are lots of little variations of punches I wanted to talk about, but how to take care of them because they do get a little bent up after a moment. And I wanted to, let's invite Julie. Let's see if I can get her on here. There we go. All right. Hang on just one second. Where are you? Let's get her on here. There she is. Good morning,
Hi.
my dear. Hi.
How are you?
Doing all right.
I'm
Doing
good.
all right.
I'm good.
So
I'm feeling pretty good actually. Had my COVID booster on Sunday. Did not feel terrible yesterday. Pretty good today. So, yeah.
good. Okay. You're breaking up just a little bit, a little fuzzy, but you're there. So
Oh, sorry.
so so I wanted to share this with you guys because center punching is used for so much in what we do. It can be used obviously for getting a point set for before you drill, but it can also be used for texturing and a bunch of other things. But we have a tendency to sort of damage them quite a lot when we're working, and I wanted to show you guys how to sort of tune them up and fix them. But there are some differences in center punches that I wanted to address first, because you can make a center punch out of all kinds of things. One of those things being nails and just pieces of steel and all kinds of stuff. So, oh, there she is. Hi, Helen.
Hello.
Hello from to London. How are you this morning?
I'm good. I'm trying to
Good.
get a background that's not too obnoxious. There we go.
All right. So, but you can make a center punch out of all kinds of things around you for doing stamps, textures, and center punching for drilling. But there are some differences in center punches, and one of them is the point of the tip, and some of them are better for like larger pieces in steel, larger holes in steel, and they have a much wider or broader point than like a prick point, or prick punch, which is used a lot for jewelry. And the prick points have about a 60-degree point on them. And center punches generally have about a 90-degree point. Prick punches have about a 60-degree point or finer. And the prick points have a tendency to be the ones that get damaged really quickly and easily and bent. They're almost all made out of tool steel. So they're made deliberately to be able to be, stamped and punched into things. But the ones that are just our basic center punch like this usually have about a 60-degree angle on them and are a good prick point, so that you can kind of like push it in almost and get a point.
So you don't have to hammer it. You're saying a prick point, you just press it into the metal.
Just about, yeah, if it's nice and sharp.
Interesting.
And one of the things that can happen is on this one, the little tip has gotten a little smushed. You kind of see it just like a little bit sort of rolled over on the point. And you really kind of want them to be sharp so that you can actually get a little point. So the whole point of center punching before you drill is to have a place for your drill bit to center. And if it's, wobbly or big or weird or, not in the exact place, your drill bit might wander or skeeter across the surface. So it gives you a place for the drill bit to sit properly and then bite into those edges. So if it's not the right angle, it can scoot out. If it's too, if it's too wide, it doesn't have enough to bite into. If it's too steep and you have a big drill bit, it can skeeter. So there's lots of things to sort of look at, actually, technically, when you're working with a center punch. But
I had no idea.
Yeah, there are lots of different center punches, and there's scratch-alls and all kinds of things that are great for this kind of thing. But one of the things that I want to show you, and this is a actual center punch that's like a finishing point So it has like a little rounded inside, or a hollow tip punch is what this is called. So they're little hollow points that make like a circle as well. And those are great for finishing nails and for using them as stamps, but they're not great for center punches. So the thing that I wanted to say is, once you get that center point just like off a little bit, there's a way to fix it and resharpen it. And I would recommend doing that once your tip gets a little out of kilter, or smushed or worn down over time. So yeah, nail set. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, so they're nail sets and hollow points, and there's then some people really like the ones that are like the snap over punch.
The automatic center punches. They have a spring inside, which
yeah,
I learned you can actually adjust how hard they slam by
Ooh.
screwing them open or closed. Like, I never knew that, and then I was like, oh, that makes sense, that you can you screw them open so then the spring has less of an effect. I'm
so
not a huge fan of those because I feel like they hit too hard usually for like the jewelry metals I'm using, but it depends on what you're using and how thick it is, I guess.
Yeah. The thing is too that those are designed for steel, and they're designed to be like to knock a little hole, or not a hole, but to knock a little divot into the metal, with some significant punch, and to be able to do it with one hand. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So you should be able to sort of do it with one hand and pop a little hole. The problem with those is that they're not accurate for what we're doing usually, for doing, piercing and doing stuff that's like really on a small scale.
So you really have to push it. I can't even get it.
Yeah. And they have a tendency to bounce, which can be, inaccurate and sometimes give you a redundant little divot.
Hi, Jamie Field.
Hi, Jamie.
So she's one of my English friends. She does stained glass. Beautiful work. Sorry.
Oh, cool. Hi, Jane. And there's Chris and a bunch of other people. So, can you turn them into a bezel setting tool? You can. The nail sets actually work. I use them for that sometimes, and I use them for hammering to get a texture that looks like a little Karen. Hello there. To get a little like bubble like texture and thicker metal, but with the center punches, what I find is the best one to use for most jewelry applications are the prick punches, or the ones that are about a 60-degree angle. And the reason that they work better for what we're usually doing is so that you can, when you're centering, on your center punch, when you're getting it all lined up, what you want to do, I'm going to tip you down a little bit, is if you have your mark, then you're usually looking at it with a little bit of an angle and then bringing it up to 90 degrees. So you can set it on your point where you want it, get it exactly right, and then do a light tap to center punch.
Light tap.
Yeah,
people,
you just need
light tap.
Light tap. So yeah, a lot of people will sit there and just like smack it like there's no tomorrow. But what you want to do really is just sort of line it up at an angle, bring it up to 90 degrees so you can see it, and then get it in point where you need it, and then one tap, and that's it. So you just need
what a great tip. I had never, again, it's like I learn stuff from you every single day, Jennifer.
Yeah. Well, and that's just being able to use it accurately, because a lot of times if you're holding it, sort of over at an edge where you can see what you're doing. I
totally get it. It makes perfect sense. Yeah. Yes,
and
absolutely.
Then just bring it up to 90.
You can see what you're doing.
Right. And so with the finer points like this, it's a lot easier to see that. The other tip I want to say is, after you do this for a while, you may find that the head of the center punch body cutting point, the head may get mushroomed, and you can clean this up and dress the top as well. You don't ever want to be hitting a head on a tool that has mushroomed over, because it can send little bits of metal flying and it starts to crack off. So you can dress that with a file, a grinder, and then sandpaper, and just get that mushroom off and redress it. And I usually dress it so it's chamfered just a little bit on the top, and so it's not like over the top, It's not muffining, as I like to call it. Muffin, yeah. A muffin,
Great
muffin
muffining.
It's the great muffining.
Mushrooming, I think is what most people call it. Apparently, Lion Punch Forge says it's called spalling. The technical term apparently is spalling. Most of us call it mushrooming, but I like muffining myself.
Muffining.
I think muffining is awesome.
You know, it's like muffin top
exactly.
pants. You know, it's like a little muffin top.
I know.
That's what it's doing.
I know.
All right. So, but I wanted to show you how to dress these real quick. So if you've got a grinder and you can sort of, stay steady, that's great. But if you've got a drill or a flex shaft that your drill or your punch will fit into, use that, because you can use it like a lathe and get a really consistent center point on that. The other thing is that you really want one that's like a true center. And Starrett has like great punches. They have a huge selection. Usually you can get a set of them, which is really nice, that have different angles and degrees, but they're on a true center, which makes a really nice nice point when you're trying to get it lined up really accurately. So, but what I'll do is use something like a sharpening stone, which acts like a grinder, kind of, and I'll take my punch at about a 60-degree angle. And so if it's got a little bit of bend in the tip or little points that are a little dull, I'm going to take it back to a sharp point. So just by running it on like a sharpening stone, I can get that ground down back to that point that I want. And then I'll just take it progressively through the sandpapers. So this is 220, and just holding it at that right angle, holding it at the correct angle, and then taking it up to like 400 and then 600. And then you just really want to get that like sharp prick of a point back in there, and you're good to go. So
would diamond stones work too, I assume?
Do which ones? Say it again.
Would diamond stones or diamond sanding, like you get those diamond sanding pads and diamond.
Yeah. Actually, yes, they'll work great. So what, mine are in there. They're in there somewhere. But yeah, the diamond sharpening plates work great, and sandpaper or, those things work really well. You do want to get something hard enough to do this, because they are as tool steel. So it does help to, get them back to that nice sharp point. And I usually will clean them up and hit them with a little bit of a leather after I do that, to smooth away any little grit and little points on there. But I do want it to be like prick sharp, and that'll give me a super accurate center punch. I mean, the thing that a lot of people will do is let their center punches like run wildly out of control until they're like, bent on the front, and they're like all squished and weird, look like, somebody is trying to center a pot on a wheel. It's like, clay. But the problem with that is, one, you're not getting an accurate center punch that is exactly where you want it. So if you're doing stuff like fretwork and piercing that's really accurate, and you've got a center punch that's screwed up, and you're trying to drill a hole with something like a 20-degree hole or a 20 gauge hole, and something where your center punch is actually bigger than the hole you're drilling, you're going to get a hole that looks really weird, and it's going to mess up the top of your metal. So you just want to point where the center of your drill can sit and catch. You don't want to like create this divot in the metal and have it like push up out the sides. So if it's a 60-degree angle, like a prick punch, it's going to give you a clean little divot. If it's wider than that, it can push the metal out when you center punch with it. And then you end up with metal that's sort of blasted out the sides like a little crater. And then when you drill that tiny hole, you have this crater on the outside, or this little mound, on the edge. So yeah, and Chris is saying, I've seen divider tips like that too, bent and smashed tips. Yeah, and you can touch those up as well. And what the heck are you doing to dividers?
I was gonna ask, like, what's that age? Yeah.
But yeah, don't hammer those dividers. But anyway, that's some simple tips for your center punch. There's more to it than meets the eye. And but in a fix, using something like just a nail to get that nice point, or you can get these from the hardware store. They're not like a high-end tool, but if you need one at hand, a nail will work at a pinch. So yeah, there you go. there's my tool tip for the day. Center punches.
Hey.
Yes. There you go. And yeah. And yeah, what have you guys got? Have you got a center punch that you love, hate? What's going on? What's your relationship with your center punches?
Well, I made one, and I learned that using my, my drill press or my, oh my gosh, my Fordham brain working, was a great way to, to use that as a lathe, basically, and to, then be able to get in there, and also learning how that angle, works, because the one I made actually is pretty blunt. So, I've always meant to go back in and reshape it, but, it's cool, when you're making one for the first time, that, it's pretty simple. So.
Yeah. All right, Julia, have a good day. We'll see you guys
All
later.
right.
Yeah. But the thing that's really kind of interesting about center punches is if you've got a bigger drill bit, you can use that wider point, and it gives that, you want it to fit the tip of the drill bit, and most drill bits are cut at a 90-degree angle. And so if you've got, something that's really wide and a tiny drill bit, it doesn't have anything to catch on, but it will center pretty well. The drill bits cut on that outside edge when they spin, and they sort of, they shear the edge when they spin. And all of that force is on the outside of the diameter of the drill bit. So you've got, this force on the outside that's sort of shaving, and if it doesn't have anything to catch on, it's not going to drill well. It's not going to catch right the first time. So if your hole's too wide, you're relying on the point to do that bit, which it doesn't do, and you really want it to catch on the sides so it down and drills properly. So anyway, it's drill bits are, it's kind of a, they're funny little things, and they're not just, it's not a sharp point on the bottom. Most of them have like a tiny little flat tip, as well as your, the blades that are cutting. Anyway, drill bits. We'll do that sometime too. But
actually, how to sharpen your drill bit when you break it.
Oh, I just get a new one. but Helen, I also have a little bonus today, because
yay!
From Pepe Tools.
Oh,
I'm so excited. Okay, so here's my thing from Pepe Tools. I just opened this because I couldn't stand it anymore, but I'm going to open it for you guys. But I've had this little drill set that's a mess forever, and I have with my drill bits,
a gauge,
my index, so I know what size they are, because they always end up, well, there goes one now. They always end up just thrown back in the pile, right? And so I've got my I like having an index, so I can, especially for doing rivets, so I can match my wire size to my drill bit size. But they always end up like this, and it makes me a little crazy. The other thing is my saw blades, which I have had in my old wax carving set for a long time. So my wax carving tools are in the box, but I sort of readapted this for my saw blades. But the problem is they sprawl out and get everywhere. So I just ordered these from Pepe Tools, and I'm so excited. So, one of them, they are, one of them's called Boar, and these are from Nashef Designs, and they're 3D printed, which I think is amazing. They're 3D printed, and it's a holder.
I have it for my saw blades. I have that. I got it actually when they did their Kickstarter. Yeah, that's so cool. I love.
Do you have the curve?
I love that thing.
These?
You have all your saw blades, and then they're all in their size description. Yes. Mine is like gray and green, I think, or something like that. That is so cool. Yeah. I love that. I think that's such a nifty tool. I didn't realize they had one for drill bits. So hello, new purchase.
I think this is new. I hadn't seen it before. But the thing that I think is really cool about this is that it's got not only the drill bit size, but it has like a little window so you can see if they're in there. But it also has the millimeter. The thing that I would say that I wish this had on it was the gauge. That's the only thing it's missing. I wish it
Oh,
had a gauge on it,
right.
but it has like a
Mm-hmm.
little hole in the top, and you can roll that over to closed. There we go. So closed, and that'll keep anything from falling out. But it's like a 3D printed thing that's really kind of cool. So yeah, all the
Mm-hmm.
drill bits are going in there. But I got the saw blade one too. Check it. And this
Yeah.
one also has like the little holes, so you can see where all the little saw blades are. But this one is really great because it's got the blade size, the millimeter, what gauge it's best for doing, and the drill bit size that is
Oh,
what you need to
nice.
make a hole for it. So I mean, it's got like all the references on here,
That's
and
cool.
this
That
one's called
mine doesn't have all that.
Curve.
At least, yeah. Not that I've
Yeah.
noticed, but
So yeah, but this one also is 3D printed. You can like,
yeah.
you can you can hear it. But I love the colors. It makes it easy to identify it on your bench really quick.
Yep.
So that makes it really great. And
Oh,
so I
I
also
saw
got
Simon go.
some nano blades from Pepe. Oh yeah, he's here. He's got his little winter jacket. But one of the things I
Oh,
realized about this last night is that, and packages may have been like this forever, and I just never noticed it until I was looking at this last night. But on these blades, you can kind of see these little blips along the side. When you open it,
yeah.
it has this point here, and when you close it, if you twist it, it locks it,
Oh, nice.
and then you can hang
I
them
think
up.
I think Chris from Lion Punch Forge, when he did the purple punch, I think it has that same feature.
Right.
And Simply Sherry, she got that from Pepe Tools.
From Pepe Tools, absolutely. And we have a Lion Punch Forge discounts and Pepe Tools discounts with Little Metal Foxes with our
Yeah,
classes.
so if you go to
So
our website under student info, you'll see our discount
right.
codes if you're
So
one of our students.
yeah. So drill indexes, Kathleen and Simply Sherry. These you usually can find at most hardware stores and places like that, but you can definitely get these, from Rio and any place that has like machining tools. The indexes are a drill index, and you can get these on Amazon. They're not like a specialized tool, but they do have the drill bit sizes on them, and you can convert that to your gauges pretty easily. But it does help when you're trying to organize your drill bits and get the right size and the right wire together. They're really important. But yeah,
Yeah.
so shout out to Pepe Tools. Yay! Love Pepe.
Yeah. I
And
love the fact that Pepe has so many, well, at least that's what it appears to me, so many independent tool makers, and that they
yeah,
promote their work as well as, getting the word out there
yeah.
that people are making
And
things, custom
teachers
things.
and
Mm-hmm.
helping students and wanting to promote the work in the field. I appreciate that a lot. And yeah, and that they were like, students, hooray, let's do this thing.
Yay.
But yeah, that's from Nash Chef Designs. So right there. But yeah, I love the fact these are
We'll put
like,
that link directly to the maker in the
they're
in
3D
the
printed.
chat.
Yeah, put that in the chat, would you? So yeah, but it's like this great toy. Don't let your kids get a hold
Yeah, I
of
know
this.
it is.
Oh my God. Because yeah, they'd be like, it's full of saw blades and drill bits and wee, like rattle, rattle. But yeah, so shout out to Pepe Tools, and yeah, if you're a Little Metal Foxes student, of course you get a discount, 10% discount on the tools from Pepe. So anyway, but yay, that's all I had today, and I'm probably going to do a little video of me playing with my saw blades and loading them all up. So anyway, but I wanted to share that with you because I think these are awesome, and I had to get them, had to. So anyway, because I'm tired of the clutter.
Yeah, oh, I know. And
Yeah.
it's just so handy that it's, and
Yeah.
it's well thought out, designed work.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
The thing
looking at our
I have noticed.
website.
Yeah. So what I would recommend too is don't put more than like a dozen loose blades in here at a time. And I have like this is a gross of, but this is like 144 because it's a
Or is it
gross.
just,
But put
there
12 in
you go.
there at a time, and I think you're going to be better off. So
Yeah.
anyway, but it has like all the saw blade sizes, and drill bit sizes. Yeah. Where did you get the drill bit sizer? There you go. Thanks. Cool. Yes, you bet. So yeah. Anyway, I've got to get off to work and go make some jewelry today. And you've got to go do things. Yeah, thanks, Karen. Thanks, Kathleen. Thanks, everybody. Sherry, for joining us. And yeah, and Chris for popping in. If you want to join us for some classes coming up, I've got the flush set coming up on Wednesday. There's still time to sign up. And I will teach you. Yep, I will teach you how to do flush setting in 2 hours, 5 steps, make it easy, and you guys can do flush set stones. And I think somebody's in there. I know somebody's in there that's on here. So yeah, so join us for that. It's just 2 hours and you can be flush setting stones. It's easier than you might think. And the other thing we've got is bezels made perfect coming up. We've got oh yeah, good. Yes,
we have the holiday party spinner ring that Julia's teaching, which is really cool.
That's gonna be a lot of fun.
And your sticks and stones coming up in the new year.
You know, that's a lot of times people see my artwork and are like, you know, how do you get all those parts together? And that's the class for you. So I'm working with glass, bone, shell, wood, hair, teeth, feathers, whatever, ceramic. But how do you get all that stuff together, and how do you shape them, cut them, drill them, join them? We're going to be doing the sticks and stones class, and it's really good just in terms of, you know, putting those parts together, but also there's a lot of safety issues people aren't aware of with some natural materials and found objects. So we get into that as well, and how to cut and shape them. So anyway, I look forward to those of you joining me tomorrow night for flush setting. Hooray! And let's see, making flush setting ring for 25th anniversary. Oh, congratulations!
Oh, nice! Happy anniversary!
Yeah, we'll get those flush set stones for you. We'll do it. All right, you guys. Thanks a lot. Take care. Have a great day, and we will see you for Tool Tip Tuesday next week. All right. Bye, my babies. Bye.
Bye.